You can use a lumbar to get the basic anatomy of the vertebrae. I try to communicate two major parts: the body, and those holes are not normal, and then the vertebral arch, starting at the body, arching over, and then ending at the body. I then went on and said, well, there's three major parts: body, vertebral arch, and then the vertebral foramen. That's where the spinal cord would reside, or spinal nerve roots. But it gets a little bit more complicated. The vertebral arch is literally a sort of a base known as the pedicles. So there's one on each side attaching the arch to the body. There are then flat areas known as lamina. And then there are processes. So these two stick out in the transverse plane. They are called transverse processes. This one faces posteriorly. It's referred to as the spinous process. So body, vertebral foramen, pedicles, transverse process, spinous process, and if I had a clamp, I could clamp right here and say these are the lamina of the vertebral arch. There are articulation points. In this lumbar, we have these superior articulation points and these inferior articulation points. The ones that I ask you to identify are the ones that are associated with rib articulation. So on the sheet, there is going to be, let's see, it's down here, something called the costal facets, superior and transverse. For that, we have to find a thoracic vertebra like this one here. And then we look on the body, and we can see that there's sort of a smooth spot there. This is not the best example. There's one there, there's a smooth spot there, run there, and there should be another smooth spot right there. These are the costal facets, only found on thoracic vertebrae. So let's talk about the differences between the vertebrae. This one has three openings. It has all the other parts that the other ones have: transverse processes, spinous process, vertebral foramen, pedicles, body. But it also then has two additional openings in the transverse processes known as the transverse foramina, plural, transverse foramen, singular. Only cervical vertebrae have all three. 1, 2, 3 holes. Only cervicals.
Can you show the difference of that one more time? So that's the cervical.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It's the only ones.
Which is missing.
This one has transverse processes. It has a vertebral foramen, but you notice its transverse processes do not have openings in them. There's only one opening, ignoring those holes. Those are man-made. Okay? So that makes this one different from this. This is cervical, this is something else. So what are the key characteristics here? We see the transverse costal facet, and the superior costal facet. Costal is a word for rib. Only thoracic vertebrae have costal facets. This is thoracic. This is, we're looking at the characteristics again. Do we see costal facets on the body or on the transverse process? Well, that one's a maybe, but these are definitely no's. Over here, that's a no. There are no costal facets on the body or the transverse process, so it is not thoracic. There are no openings in the transverse processes. There are no transverse foramina, so it's not cervical. Then we look at the size of the thing, look at it from the side and see a moose. It's a lumbar. Oopsie. Okay?
And the other one was like an elephant, and the other one was like a...
Someone called, what, this one a giraffe?
Yeah.
And then this one, I don't know what they called it.
I think a heart.
A heart, right, looked like that.
Okay, can you say the associated name? So,
This
like a
is-
heart, and that is...
This is a
Cervical.
cervical. This one from the side, downward pointing nose. Not all of them are like this, by the way.
Okay, good to know.
This one is thoracic.
Thoracic, like an elephant.
And then this one from the side looks like a moose. This is a lumbar.
Lumbar.